Are you making the same money, same relationships, same problems, same savings account? Well, look, I'm going to give you 10 ways to improve your life. Let's go. Welcome back to the Jefetalk podcast. It is your host, Jefe, back for another podcast. Yo, what up? What's good with y'all, man? I want to, of course, show love like I always do. I appreciate my supporters. Make sure y'all like and subscribe below. But today I want to talk about 10 ways to improve your life. So I put together 10 top ways to improve your life. Take the information and actually apply it. Everything I'm talking about today is what I did. Anybody who followed me, anybody who knows my story, whether this is the first time you even meeting me or knowing about me, I personally have seen my life take off in a direction that I could have never guessed as a child. Now, I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, I did see visions of where my life could go. I can't make this up. I remember when I was, 5 or 6 years old, seeing the certain conditions I was in, certain neighborhoods, environments, and I've always had a question, could there be more to this, right? And I was a TV junkie. I used to watch a bunch of shows growing up, the usual Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Family Matters, all the shows that we know today that kind of showed, especially, the Cosbys, that showed healthy living, showed healthy two-parent households, education, going to college, right? So for me, I've always inspired to want that for my own. I always inspired to want that lifestyle for my own personal family, So I'm really, really happy to be in a position where I can share and give information that could potentially change your life. So let's go. Number 1, daily habits for a happier life. Daily habits. What is your daily habits? Right? What do you do religiously? What do you do every single day? No one has to tell you to do it. Nobody has to pull your teeth and call you and wake you up. Nobody has to tell you what is the things that you do every day, right? I want you guys to start understanding you need morning routines. Morning routines set a positive tone for the day, right? So when I start my day, I always want to create a game plan, right? I always want to at least speak out what I'm going to accomplish today, whether I'm doing that internally, right? I also write things down, right? I know if y'all seen millions of times on the internet about writing down your goals and stuff like that. But number 1 is I want you to starting your day with a positive tone. How you feel, what you think creates your reality. So if you waking up angry, if you always got an attitude, you don't like what you got to do for the day, that's usually going to be the tone for the day. That's usually going to be your outlook for the day. So if you are starting your day with a negative tone, your day is going to be negative. It's that simple. A lot of the things I'm going to talk about with you today are really basic things, are really things that you might already know, but sometimes we got to take a step back and probably hear it through a voice or another person for it to finally click. And that's what I needed for me in my life. I needed to hear certain things in different angles, or maybe just a different frequency for me to be like, yo, I know I should be doing that. I should be doing that. So incorporate gratitude and put those positive vibes out for the day. Wake up with just joy. Even if you woke up with a cramp, right? I want you to start waking up with some type of joy because that's going to translate and carry over into everything you do. How many times you woke up, stub your toe, cramp in your neck, right? Not feeling well. And throughout the day, you keep reminding yourself what happened in the morning, and you telling your coworkers or one of your friends like, yo, man, I had the worst sleep last night. I woke up, I had cramps, I'm not feeling well, I don't want to be here. Notice how that carries over into the day, right? So what we want to do is start making sure we do a complete reset in the morning. That's the beauty of the next day. The beauty of the next day is that you can completely start over and try it again. You gotta start the morning right. So start off with a positive tone. Number 2, we're gonna talk about your productivity, right? Your productivity. What does your time management look like? Your time management is the epitome of what gets done. It dictates what you're going to accomplish, right? Because if you don't manage to put things in perspective on what's important and what's not, you're never ever going to achieve what you're trying to achieve because your time management sucks. And I'm not gonna say you ain't gonna get stuff done, but not in a fashion that you want it to be, right? Not at the time rate that you want to get done. We want to continue to realize that, hey, this is a journey. I got to get it right, but I got to get my time management on point. I got to be more productive. How do I do that? Some of the ways I like to do that is I like to write out what my day consists of, whether I use a calendar on my computer. Everyone has an iPhone. Everybody has an Android. You have notes. You have calendars. Write it out. Put your top 10 things you're going to get accomplished today, and I want you to start putting timestamps by it. Put timestamps by it. Put, hey, by 8 o'clock, I'm going to eat breakfast. Maybe 9 o'clock, I'm going to hit the gym or run, or maybe I might push that a little bit earlier, depending on my schedule. 12 o'clock, I got lunchtime. Maybe during my lunchtime, I can look up some stocks. I can look up some new business ideas. 3, 4 o'clock, I'm off. I'm going to beat traffic. Let me go ahead and incorporate calling my loved ones, calling my grandparents, telling them that I love them. So the more you get more organized with your time management, the more accountable you hold yourself to get it done. It's really that simple. Nobody's going to pat you in the back and say, hey, you got to get this done. You might have family and loved ones and relatives that may, annoy you, but nobody's going to push you better than you can push yourself. So why not hold yourself accountable by yourself? So get your time management on point. Stop being lazy. Stop just going where the wind blows, right? I know individuals that just wake up and wonder what's going to happen versus dominating and creating their day, dominating their time. Very, very important. All right. Number 3, health and wellness. Health and wellness. Your health is what you need to continue the journey. Your wellness, your mental, your mindset, the way you move. Are you agile? Are you flexible? Do you have enough vitamins? Because if the machine is not being fed properly, how are you going to go out into the world and be great? How are you going to dominate the world that you claim you want to be successful in if your health is not right? What things can you cut back in your life? What things can you take out? So me personally, quick shout out to me. I started this new health journey, and I've always been inclined to be healthy, right? Everyone sees my Instagrams and stories. Y'all can look below. I think it's on this side. Look below. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram. You'll see kind of how I live. And I'll tell you this. I became vegan just last week. And it's the funniest thing because, I like to grill. I like to cook, or I like to go out and get me something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, take care of my body. You get what I'm saying? I want to make sure I'm eating good because I work hard. I work hard for it. So long story short, I started this new journey and I'm actually loving it. Why? Because I challenged myself and said, let me take meat, out of my diet. Let me start eating more vegetables, being more consistent, drinking more things with vitamins, coconut water. I'm juicing, carrot juice, celery, all of that. And I will tell you, it's probably the most self-fulfilling things, even though it's only been about 2 weeks, that I probably ever did. Because I told myself, if I could release things in my life that keeps me bondage to it, right? Strapped to it, that can tell me I can do anything I put my mind to. And it sounds cliche. It sounds really element. Put your mind. But once you unlock that power, you are unstoppable. So I challenge you to improve your health. Take the red meat off the plate. Maybe stop smoking for a couple of weeks. Maybe stop drinking. That's for you to figure out. But you gotta make sure your health is on point. Go to the doctor, get a checkup. When the last time you got your health checked out? When was your last health appointment, just to make sure you're okay? So I challenge everybody listening to set an appointment and make sure they cool, especially for my men getting it at that age where you got to start checking on things, make sure it's still working. Feel me? Especially my women out there. All right. Number 4, kind of in the same line, is mental health boosters. Mental health boosters. What improves your mental health? Right? Are you doing things for yourself to release stress, anxiety? Are you doing things where you can put yourself in a state of mind where nothing else matters? How often do you do that? This will dramatically improve your life if you take the time and ask yourself, what makes me stress-free? And actually go do it. So I want you guys to start incorporating meditation practices, right? Figuring out what different techniques you can incorporate to reduce your stress and anxiety, whether it's stretching, whether it's just going for a walk. Keep it basic. Walking is one of the best stress relievers. I'm telling you. Why? Because it's at a slow pace, right? See, I grew up playing sports. I grew up always being active. I was in the military. I was always moving. And I always thought the higher the output, the higher the maximum, energy that I'm putting into something, the more I'm gonna be great. And it's just more of an ego and a manly thing to do. But the reality is, the smoother the pace, the calmer the pace, my heart rate can find a balance and get a rhythm, and then my stress and anxiety is removing itself. Even when I'm lifting weights, I lift heavy, right? Time to time, but I'm doing it at a pace where I'm not racing nobody. I'm on a cool pace. So I want everybody to start incorporating stress-free activities. I bought a ping pong table a couple of weeks ago, play with my family. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Just little stuff to just make you feel like a kid again. If that's what you need to do, sit down on your couch and just breathe. Y'all always moving, always doing something. Some of y'all just be doing too much, right? Enjoy the freedom you have to just sit and chill. That I believe, and I know for a fact, that will improve and give you that mental health boost that you need, right? Those mental health boosters, those different activities. All right. Number 5, financial tips. What financial tips are you incorporating in your life? Because we all get them. We see them all over Instagram. We see them all over social media. But how many of them we actually incorporate into our life? So I want you guys to start working on budgeting, saving strategies. Get into that stage where you're actually applying the strategy. I'm not gonna lie. I know for a fact y'all be screenshotting stuff because it's great, or hitting a save on your Instagram, knowing you ain't ever going back to it. It's just like a quick satisfaction knowing that you saved a cool budgeting hat, or maybe an IRA or a stock that you need to invest in, but you never do it. I want you guys to execute on the things that you see that can benefit you in the long term. as well as the short term. So challenge yourself. This is a great way to improve your life by actually doing what you set out to do. Right? Challenge yourself. So start working on investing. Start getting into stocks if you haven't got into them. People know me for stocks and stock options and, things of that nature. But even myself, I was just telling one of my friends that, I got to apply what I be helping and teaching people. I got to start holding myself accountable. Because the reality is we're not getting younger. I still feel good. I feel I'm in my prime right now, but that's one of those things that you got to think about quickly and move on and realize life still goes on. How am I preparing for the next chapter? What does my retirement look like? What does my loved ones and family retirement look like? Am I going to be in a position to help them? And if not, am I going to be in a position to help myself? Really important stuff that you got to start thinking about. This is how you're going to improve your life. People always think there's going to be a angel or a savior to come down and pay all the bills and take care of everything. Y'all going to hit the lottery. We got to be realistic. All things are possible, but at the same time, what's possible for you? And if you don't know that, you need to create your possible. You need to create what your future should be. Create a budget. Get with a financial advisor. Stop trying to do everything based on what you see on YouTube or what you see on Instagram. It doesn't work for everybody. Some people can. Those people can look at things on social media or Instagram and apply it. But you might just need to sit your behind down with a financial advisor. Get you one, right? If you need surgery, are you going to look it up? No, you're going to take your ass to a doctor. Right? If you need prayer, sometimes you go to church, right? If you need to smoke something, you will go to your plug. Go get some financial counsel. Okay? Building better relationships will be number 6. Building better relationships. What does your relationships look like? What does your communication skills look like? Are they terrible? Do they suck? Do you over communicate? Do you over talk people? Do you find yourself always talking and never listening? Or you don't talk enough? You're mute. You're programmed to hear and don't respond. These things affect relationships to the highest degree. Are you aligning yourself with people that communicate effectively? Y'all too old to still be dealing with people who can't communicate effectively on both spectrums, lack of or too much. You too old for that. What's wrong with you? Why do you keep getting in relationships that has terrible communication and then be quick to blame them when you said yes to the relationship? Whether it's dating relationship, whether it's family relationships, whether it's work relationships, you dictate that. But we got to figure out a way to nurture and maintain the good friendships and remove all the toxic, negative ones out the way. Number 7 will be personal development, one of my favorites. Personal developments I love because it allows me to focus on what makes me better for me. We can always figure out on how to look a certain way or how we may come off to other people, but how are we pouring into us? What seeds are we planting in our mind? What things are we doing for our physical appearance, for our own health, for our agility, for how we move, for how we inhale, exhale? What does our lungs look like, right? Personal development can cover so many different aspects of your life. But we got to start making sure we are setting personal goals and actually achieving them. I don't think too many people talk about achieving goals enough. Like actually doing it. I think we hear set a goal, but who's really achieving them? We got to make sure we're holding ourselves accountable to achieve those personal goals. You should always have a continuous appetite for learning, a continuous appetite for skill building, improving your own personal development. I'm giving y'all the keys to improve your life. If you listen to this over, you're going to start realizing there's a pattern, right? There's a pattern to all these things. And a lot of it has to do with you first looking in the mirror. Because when you do that, it allows you to move everything out the picture. Sometimes when you're around a lot of people, or you have a big network, and even if you don't, or you're always blaming somebody, you never have really time to improve yourself. You never really have that time to improve yourself. So I want you to put a highlight by personal development. That's really, really important. All right. Number 8, which is something I got to get better at, is decluttering and organizing. If you live in a house of chaos, if you always got things going on, you got loud, music, lights. I mean, it's just a lot going on. You can't really function or think. My personal problem that I personally had to improve was the amount of tasks that I give myself in one day. I feel like I could accomplish the world, right? I feel like I don't have enough time. And because I don't have enough time, I'm doing a lot. And it doesn't put me in prime position to execute at 1000% level that I want. You get what I'm saying? So make sure that you are maintaining an organized life. And that's why those other topics we talked about become really relevant in this particular topic, because you need personal development to know what you need to fix, right? You need to figure out what relationships you need to work on for you to be at a better peaceful state, which affects your mental, your stress, and your anxiety, right? You need that mental health booster and all that stuff we just talked about. So I want you guys to start working in cleaner spaces, decluttering, organizing your workspace, making your bed in the morning. Sounds basic, but I'm serious. The better your environment is, the easier it is for you to receive, analyze, and execute, okay? Number 9, finding purpose and passion. This subject is tricky for a lot of people because some people don't know their purpose. Some people to this day don't know why they're here on this earth. And it's not as hard as you think. This was like a question I had for years growing up. What is my purpose? What is my purpose? And my answer to that is whatever gives you less resistance, something you can do with ease, and you're happy doing it, that's your purpose. That's where you should be diving in and narrowing in more. It shouldn't feel uncomfortable. It shouldn't make you feel upset or sad or weird after it. I want you to look at it like this. You got your passion right here, and you got what you're good at over here. And you got to find that middle ground. That middle ground where these two meet. What is it that I'm good at, that I love doing, right? What do I love to do? And what is it that I do very, very easy and natural, that comes to me? Very natural. That's your purpose. So take time figuring that out. Write it out. Talk it out, but write it out. Write all the things that come to you naturally that you like to do. You'd be surprised. And then from there, you can build off of that. Build off different segments of what that subject is. Let me give you an example. Let's say you like playing golf, whatever it is, you're really good at it. But you got to make some money. So maybe you might start making some ebooks or some YouTube videos. How you do that so effortlessly. And then you put it in a nice little package, and you're able to sell that to your consumer. So now you found something that you love to do, and then you figured out a way to monetize it. There's your purpose. Your purpose is now taking what you're good at to put out a positive seed that you're planting because it's going to help somebody else. That is one of the greatest ways to improve your life, when you figure out what can you contribute to the world. Very important. All right. So the last one is self-care practices. Number 10, self-care. Okay. This I can't stress enough. You have to be able to take care of yourself, right? Take time, introduce yourself to things about yourself you probably never knew. right? Know what you don't like and know what you do like. Make sure you figure that out and document that. Have some type of way of reflecting over, these are the things I don't want in my life. These are the things I do want in my life. And I can now make better decisions because I already made that commitment to myself. That's self-care. Get some new routines, some self-care routines. Go to the sauna. Go to the gym. Maybe go to church or go to some men's group or some women's group. Find some mentors. Do things that's going to edify and push you to be great. So I hope everyone has taken the time to take this information down. If not, make sure you like and subscribe. Go back to the beginning, write these down, and I want you to apply it. And if this had any positive impact in your life, make sure you show some love. Drop some love below, subscribe, do what y'all need to do. But I appreciate everybody for coming into the Jefetalk podcast. I'm your host, Jefe. And just like the slogan says, act, think, live. I want you to execute on the things we talked about today. I want you to think about what you executed on and how can you improve it and live your life. This is your host, Jefe. I appreciate the love and support. Make sure y'all drop some comments if this impacted your life in any positive form or not. Let me know. I appreciate y'all, and I am out.